Welcome to the Spark Report. John W. Davis and Pavy. What's going on, Pav? How you doing?
How you feeling? I'm good.
I'm feeling well. I'm feeling well. The LA Sparks are 4-3. First 7 games. 5 doubles for Candice Parker in the wubble. She almost had a triple double in the wubble. How you feeling about that?
She's playing at least the best. She's playing the type of basketball. Before I watch the Sparks, every game. Like obviously, I'm not gonna sit there and act like I've been the biggest WNBA watcher like my whole life. I haven't. I've gotten more into it as I've gotten more into covering the sport. But she's playing like the Candice Parker that I expected Candice Parker to play like personally. Like this is the Candice Parker. Like this, like when people mention the name Candice Parker, this is what I expect of Candice Parker.
I agree with you. This
like
is
that's
an
what
exciting Candice Parker.
Yeah, like this is what she's
15-10.
This
is exciting.
I mean, she's doing it all. Like I remember I had the podcast last year that said that she needs to play like Jokic. To me, I kind of feel like that's kind of what she's been playing, like especially in the last game when obviously Nneka wasn't up to 100%. So I feel like Kansas had to show her a little bit more responsibility. She was doing it all. She was passing, she was scoring. I mean, even probably like the highlight play she had when she made the pass from, I mean, the super the top of the key. Into the post to Maria, which was like a beautiful pass,
Gulich,
perfect. To Gulich, beautiful pass, perfect placement. She's playing again, like I said, when you mentioned the name Candice Parker, to me, this is the person that I expected to see play every day, and so far this season, she's been that way.
This is vintage Candice Parker. And I asked her what she was seeing out there in that near triple-double. And we're going to get into the triple-double. We'll break it down. But she told me that she just felt like she had to rebound more because she felt like, they lost some championships back in the day from not rebounding. And also the fact that, when you have her, Chelsea, and Nneka, all eyes are on them. Let's be honest. All eyes are on them whenever they have the ball. So if they're willing, they have great opportunity to pass the ball.
I agree.
And they can pass to open shooters, or they can pass to people that's just going to lay it up. And that's what she did when she had 11 points, 10 rebounds, and 9 assists in less than 30 minutes.
I mean, not even
that's
that.
Still not a triple-double.
Yeah, I mean, not even that. I just think that Candace's passing is probably the best thing that she brings to the game. I think she can do it all, but I think her passing ability is probably the best, especially with her being that height. She's 6'4", 6'5". She can, she can like see over the defense. So putting her at the top of the key, she can see everything as opposed to you sticking like a 5'8" guard out there. She's 6'4". She can see over everybody, see everything. And I think that's to me, honestly, what she brings best to the game. So it's great to see her having an impact doing that.
That's why I've consistently said I feel like Candice Parker has the ability to be a better passer than Chelsea Gray because of that height you mentioned.
I agree. I never disagree with you about that.
Yeah, I just want to keep re-emphasizing that to people. As great as Chelsea Gray is, and as great as she will be as she continues her career, there's just something different about a 6'4" point as opposed to a 5'11" point.
I think Chelsea is a flashier passer.
Mm-hmm.
She's definitely a flashier passer. Like, she does the behind the back, she'll, look away passes and, things like that. But as far as like who's better at just the art of passing the basketball, I think it's Candice Parker.
I agree with that. So what do you think about Candice Parker not getting that triple-double? We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about her position in, MVP rankings, choo-choo to Candice Parker, MVP train about to pull out the station. But what do you think about her not getting a triple-double and Derek Fisher not realizing that she was 1 assist away until 5 minutes?
I mean, I don't think
that's what he told me.
I don't think it's Derek Fisher's job to realize like stats. I think it's his job to win the basketball game. And also in a season like this and like a very condensed season, you don't want to take chances. Like if you got a chance to get her some rest, then get her some rest. Let her sit down. Like let her rest, please. Like she'll be playing again in 48 hours probably. You know what I'm saying? What I think they're in the middle of having 6 games in 10 days, something like that.
Yes.
So I mean, yeah, you don't want to take the chance of, you keep somebody out there too long, somebody tweak an ankle or something like that. You already stepped on somebody's foot earlier in the game and you look like she tweaked the ankle. So you don't want to, keep anybody out there risk injury, even like he said, like if something would have happened to her, I couldn't have forgiven myself. The way she's playing, I'm sure there will be other opportunities for her to get a triple-double when they actually need it. But I don't think that in these situations, especially in like a situation like this, when the games are, so condensed, that you go out there and play for stats. I think you play to win the game, and then once you have the game won, you sit the people down and let them rest up for the next game.
I agree with you. Again, she played essentially the whole third quarter to get them to that point. And when she left the game, they were barely up by 10, and the bench actually pulled away to getting closer to 20. So at that point, yeah, she could have came back in and tried to force it and get a pass. And yeah, she probably could have figured out how to do it. But, I think that it's a statement by both of them. And as much as I know Candace wanted it, but as much as this happened, this is a statement by both of them saying that, like, we're just trying to win basketball games. And if the basketball game is won at that point, it's won at that point. And I agree with you 100%. If Candace Parker keeps playing like this, she's had 5 straight double-doubles. If she keeps playing like this, if she averages a double-double for the season, she will have another opportunity at a triple-double in a game where she has to play more than 30 minutes. I agree with you.
And also,
it's really that simple.
And also, like Fish said, like, it's not like it was a point, a rebound, like a assist or something you got to depend on other people to get. So it's like you may go 7 minutes and nobody may hit a shot. Like, that's just, it's not like, she needed 2 points. 2 points is easy. Like, I'm going to just give you the ball 4 straight possessions. I'm going to assume somehow you'll come up with 2 points, or like just crash the boards. I'm going to assume you'll come up with like a rebound. But assist is different.
We know she definitely could have got a bucket, and we know she definitely
probably could have got a rebound. But
that makes perfect sense. And I guess just the last thing about it is, again, like, she's going to have more opportunities to get another triple-double. There was a great stat somebody put out there with research and said that of the near triple-doubles in WNBA history, Candace Parker almost has half of them. And that's what she talked about after, to me. She's like, I wasn't leading near triple-doubles. I mean, she's kind of being whatever, but still, like, you just don't want to take the risk. Because imagine this, and I'm not trying to put this on anybody, but like you said, we saw the ankle roll just a little bit. She's able to get the treatment and everything she needs to maintain her body. But just imagine if for some odd reason she had been out there trying to get this assist and something really happened to her. Can you imagine how much hate there would be out there for Derek Fisher right now?
Yeah, the person that people already dislike for no reason, honestly. Like, no actual basketball reasoning that they dislike him for. It's about things that have nothing to do with basketball. Because in the Sparks, at least for what he's done with the Sparks, I don't really see too many. I don't think he's perfect but who is? I don't think anybody's perfect all the time. Like, I don't think every play he drew up has worked. I don't think every defense he's called has worked. But I think he's done the best he can, and usually more times than not, it's led to a win. So he must be doing something right.
Right. And the great thing about this season is through the first 7 games, he has a clear number 1 player now. Candace Parker has pulled away from the rest of the big 3, and she has been the clear leader now. Is that partially because NECA missed 6 quarters because she was hurt? Maybe so. Is that partially because Chelsea Gray is still working herself into shape and she's still getting her confidence back with shooting those outside shots, and she needs to go inside more and get that rhythm? Maybe so. But right now, through a third of the season, Candace Parker is player A. She is the alpha on the team right now. And that's no offense to a former MVP like NECA, who I say is the real MVP for everything else she's doing, which this is great. If Candace Parker can carry the first third of the season, then maybe another one carries the second third, and then maybe the other one carries the next third. Like, that's what she talked about. They have so many weapons. They all do this together. Now, it just happened to be Candace right now, and Candace is getting so much hype and so much press about the fact that she's on TNT the night before a game in the midnight. And then she comes back out and has a double-double, and then we know her daughter Layla is there with her. So she's getting all this hype. And so, like I said earlier, I've been texting you about this. Choo-choo, baby. The Candace Parker MVP train is about to pull out the station. Now, yes, there's Asia Wilson, and yes, there's Breanna Stewart. But if
Sylvia
you had
Fowles
to,
too.
And Sylvia Fowles and Courtney Vandersloot, all in the top 5 consideration. But if you had to tell the story and the personification of a most valuable player in the Wubble, who is a better person
Breonna Stewart
than
as well.
Who is a better person than Candice Parker?
As well.
Because we keep saying it's bigger than basketball.
I feel you, but Breonna Stewart is coming off an Achilles injury, which
is just basketball.
But gee, that is a career altering thing, though. That's I mean, you could use that like, oh, well, she overcame triumph, she overcame an Achilles injuries to fight back and get back to being who she was. I mean, even like Asia just started a podcast, whatever. Like she's doing that, so it's like a lot of them are doing other things. I feel you. I also think that with Candace's play, she should get some votes. Like she deserves. Like she has been one of I don't think you can name 5 to 10 players who have been better than Candace Parker this season. So, I mean, the narrative aside, she should get some votes because she just actually been one of the 5 best players. Like she has. And as long as the Sparks keep winning basketball games and she keeps playing the way she's playing, she's rebounding the ball, she's defending. Like, I think she's back to, she's averaging the most blocks she's averaging like 4 or 5 years. Like she's I think she's averaging like 1.8
blocks. Rebounds ever.
So she's defending. She's actually having one of her better seasons. It's probably a top 5 season so far. It's only been 6 games, but so far she's having one of her better 7. But so far she's having one of her better seasons. And like again, if she's having one of her better seasons, her being a 2-time MVP, that deserves some MVP consideration. Do I think she'll win it? I don't know. I think probably Breonna Stewart is probably the front runner for it, just because of the fact. What the Storm's record is, assuming the Storm are going to keep winning, what the Storm's record is, and the numbers she's putting up. She's a huge contributor to that winning. But Candice Parker should definitely get some votes. Like, there's no way you can have an MVP conversation right now and not mention Candice Parker's name for what she's doing. So I gotta, you called it first. So hey, I gotta commend you for that one.
I appreciate that, but I'm just saying, like, there's a story around MVP. There's a lore around MVP. And Candice Parker, she's got the intangibles outside of basketball that could elevate her. Like if it came down to Asia Wilson, and let's say Asia Wilson played 18 games and she kind of dropped off towards the end, got a little tired. And Candice Parker played 21, 22 and continued to do what she did the whole time. If you had to pick between the two, then a lot of people might lean Candice Parker.
I mean, yeah, but that's 4 more games. That's almost a 4th of the season. It's almost
I understand. I'm just saying there are ways that Candice Parker can elevate. Right now, and I'm gonna give a shout out to my man Matt Allentuck. Right now, he has I think a very fair MVP rankings after the first 2 weeks. It's still too early, but he has Breonna Stewart 1, Asia Wilson 2, Sylvia Fowles 3, Candice Parker 4, and Courtney Vandersloot 5. I think those are fair.
I actually think the Sparks Lynx game did a lot for Sylvia Fowles MVP consideration. Like I was watching that game, like, oh wow, like they really miss Sylvia Fowles. Like it was certain things that was going on. Well, I'm like, yeah, this would not be going on if Sylvia was in this basketball.
She's been that deal for them this year. She's been that deal, but she's leading the league in rebounds. She has not lost a step. I mean,
at all. But
she's doing what she needs to do. But she's hurt right now.
She is hurt right now.
Does that linger?
Exactly.
Does that affect her coming in? So does that drop her down after next week if Sylvia Fowles only plays 2 games and 1 game she only has 6 rebounds? These rankings change quick.
I agree.
I mean, after that, we'll almost be finished with half the season.
Yeah. No. Yes. I agree. But for right now, for like what it is, I don't mind those rankings. I think they're pretty fair. I think, like I said, I think Breonna has been the best player on the best team, which usually, unless somebody else does something out of body, like for instance, if, like Sylvia Fowles, like let's say, because I mean, the Lynx do have another All-Star, obviously, with Nafisa Collier, but Odyssey hasn't been there. Lexi, I like Lexi, but she's not an All-Star. They don't
Odyssey is coming though.
Yeah, she's coming, but I'm saying like if she's
there, but she should be playing.
But with Sylvia leading the league in rebounding, they just like if she could drag that team, I don't want to say drag, I don't want that like they don't have players because like Crystal Dangerfield, what she did to the Sparks the other day.
How about anchor?
She
could anchor that team.
Anchor that team and they end up, I mean, I don't know, top with the 3? Second best record in the league, top 3. Then it's like, yo, I'm looking at Breonna Stewart, like, yeah, you did have a great season, but look at the team you got, as opposed to the Lynx, nobody would have picked them in the preseason to be, where they would ultimately end up. So that's the only way that I could, but but Brianna number one, Asia number two, because again, I don't think many people saw. I think people thought the Aces would slide a little bit. I thought the Aces would slide a little bit.
This is the thing, though. So as great as Asia Wilson is playing right now, as great as Brianna Stewart is playing, I think that the MVP is going to end up coming from a top 2, top 3 team in the league. Right now, that's 5 people. So let's just say right now, if somehow the Sparks get up to 2 or even 1, you're going to have to give it to Candace Parker if she continues playing like this.
I agree.
You have to pick her. Brianna Stewart, if the Storm continue to be 1, then yeah, you got to pick the best player on the best team. But like let's say Asia Wilson, like she was player of the week, she averaged 25. But let's say they finish 4 or 5. I don't care what she averages, she's not going to be MVP.
Yeah. If they finish 4 or 5, no. Now if they finish third, maybe 4 or 5,
maybe
no.
Third. If they finish, I think the MVP comes from one of the top 2 teams. Unless it's the Lynx. The Lynx can be third, and Sylvia Fowles could be MVP.
I'll say Vegas too, because I mean, if she comes out, I mean, I don't have her exact numbers out here. Actually, let me Google what she's averaging this season.
I'll just give you her week. How about her week? 3-0. She averaged 26 points, 8 rebounds, and more than a block and a half.
But right now on the season, she's averaging 22. Basically, she's averaging 22, 9, 2, 1 and 1. Basically, I mean, if she comes out here and averages, let's say she pushes it up to like 24, and it stays like that, and Vegas is top 3. I mean.
Okay, I give you that. Top 3. Okay, so the MVP has to come from a team that's top 3.
Yeah.
So when we get down to the end, doesn't matter what Candace Parker is doing. It doesn't matter what Wilson is doing. It doesn't matter what Fowles is doing. Honestly, it doesn't matter what Vandersloot is doing. Vandersloot could average, 14 and 11. But if they're not a top 3 team, she can't be MVP. She's not going to get that Steve Nash MVP. Now, if the Sky end up 1 or 2, Steve Nash MVP her.
It's going to be hard for her to get an MVP because, I mean, even though 14 and 11 is impressive, but like, I think people will have
arguably the best team in the league right now. You could argue that they're the best team in the league.
But also, I just think that other people will have more impressive looking stat lines than what Vandersloot would possibly have at the end of the season.
They will, but that's what I'm saying. If the Sky somehow end up with the best record or the second best record, then you can talk that talk for her. You can talk her up. Because at that point, she is the best point guard in the league on one of the top 2 teams in the league. So then it's either you say like, okay, Vandersloot anchored, I don't want to say drug, but anchored the Sky to this record. Or you could say Brianna Stewart and a cajillion all-stars did what they did.
Yeah, yes, I feel you. But also, again, with the fact that Brianna has the I'm coming off an injury thing to her as well. It's like she's coming off an injury. And literally, if you just started watching this year, I promise you would never know she missed last season.
That's
you just started watching this year, you would have zero idea she had an Achilles injury last year and did not play. You have no idea, which I think has to count for something personally.
No.
But that's me.
So NECA is back. Simone Augustus missed the game. First of all, I want to say shout out to Simone Augustus for speaking up and saying that she didn't feel right and not playing. I think that was a classy move by her to not play in that game. And I think that shows that she trusts the coaching staff and the coaching staff trusts her. Obviously, the coaching staff, if she says I'm not going to play, then she's not going to play. But for her, just less than 2 weeks into the season to say, oh, I'm just not sure about tonight. I'm not feeling it. And for her to have the comfortability to not go out there and try to play like last year, I feel like I saw her playing on one leg with the Lynx. Like she was literally just out there playing to play. But for her to say, I'm not feeling it, I need the night off, and to get the night off and the team to still be able to manage for the most part, I think that's good. But then I think that's another reason why, as great as Simone Augustus is, I would not start her. Because that might happen again. And you don't want to lose the synergy that you're trying to develop with the starting lineup. And then every once in a while, Simone needs to pull back minutes or miss a game.
I mean, I just wouldn't start it because I don't want 4 people in my lineup. I got to run plays for it. I just don't. In my starting lineup, I just nah. I like to keep people I have to run plays for to maximum 3. And even 3 sometimes is pushing it, but 3 is fine. I like to have 3 options in my starting lineup. The other 2 people, I need y'all to do the things that the other people not gonna do. That's what I need y'all to do. Stand there, hit open shots, or if you're a great defender, be that. You do all the hustle stuff. I don't want 3. That's too much scoring in my starting lineup. And also, I think we talked about this before. Simone Augustus, one of the greatest women's players, one of the greatest basketball players in history, playing against the bench. I don't care how old she is, like playing against another team's bench.
Dude, she's
like
cooking the benches. She's cooking the benches.
Yeah, that is where you're gonna get the most out of her.
Like if I was playing in a series against the Sparks in the playoffs, to say the Sparks made it to the semifinals or the finals, I might even consider pulling somebody out my starting lineup early. Like I start somebody and I bring them off the bench. I pull them to the bench early so they can come in and try to guard Augustus when she comes in off the bench. I might have to strategize myself against her in a series. That's how effective she's been off the bench against second team players.
Yeah, and then like also off the bench, like she's not asked to do too much. She is 34, 35 years old. So you don't want to put too much of a burden on her. Her and Raquana having that scoring punch off the bench. I just think that it's the best position for her.
It is.
Like just come off the bench. We're not asking you to change the world. Just hit open shots. When you get an opportunity to isolate, please do. And, rebound. And also keep people in check, which is like one of the things that you see her consistently doing. You see her, like, yo, hey, everybody huddle up. We doing, I don't know what she's saying because I ain't there, but hey, everybody huddle up. We doing this, hey, yo, we got to do this. We got to do that. And I think that's what you need from her, especially in those bench lineups, because like I always say, like the thing you want from your bench really is like to hold the lead. If you up 7 and I put my bench in, please don't even put my starters in, and now we down 4.
And that's why I tweeted when Candice Parker came out with 11 points, 10 rebounds, and 9 assists. I said, if y'all want to see Candice Parker get back in this game and get that assist, y'all better root for the Lynx to come back a little bit. And what did the bench do? The bench pulled away. Now, yes, Nneka was out there because Nneka had played lower minutes earlier because for different reasons, but they was at the point where the bench pulled away. That's new for the Sparks. The Sparks are not used to the bench extending a lead like that. The bench basically pushed it to 20, from 10 to 20, 12 to 20. Yeah. And like at that point, it's just over. So what do you think about this though? So another thing that was interesting too was that TRP did not start the second half. And so they decided to start Simone Augustus in TRP's place. If TRP doesn't play into this next week because of her ankle injury, which I saw that she had taped up after the game when they were having a birthday party celebration for Derek Fisher, who do you start then? Because you've already decided that you're not starting Raquana. So you're starting Sydney Weeks. You start Sykes?
Personally,
I think you start Sykes too.
I think against Minnesota, you play Simone because that's her moment. And like obviously Simone would say, I don't care about it. And I take it out of word, but come on, like they let you go after 14 seasons? Yes. 13, 14 seasons. You care. You care, and you on some level of care. You want to go out there and punish them a little bit, and rightfully so. So like that's her moment. You start her. But every other game, I like what Brittany brings. I think she brings a level of athleticism that the Sparks don't have. Raquana, she's athletic, but she's 5'5", 5'6". Brittany Sykes is 5'9", 5'10". She gives them a level of athleticism and toughness and also speed that they don't have and that they could also use. I think she's a good penetrator. So I think you start Brittany.
And I think the other point you made earlier about you don't want too many people in the starting lineup that you have to draw up plays. So I agree with that. And then also you got to think about it like this. As much as people are looking at TRP for working herself back into shape and they're saying, oh, I don't know about TRP. I don't know about TRP. She is still either guarding the point guards or the toughest wing on offense. Yeah. She's still doing that. So to just go ahead and put Brittany Sykes in that position means you're not changing everything around for everybody else. And I also think this is a great opportunity to empower Brittany Sykes. Brittany Sykes proved with the Atlanta Dream that she could be a starter. Brittany Sykes was essentially the second best player on their team to Angel McCoughtry when the Dream were at their peak. She was the second best player on a whole team. Right now, she's coming off the bench, and she's not even the first person off the bench sometimes. So to have a situation where you can empower her for a couple games, or maybe this turns into the rest of the season. Who knows? Because I think that those are two players that complement each other. They have a chemistry. We haven't seen it on air. I won't say on air. We haven't seen it on the court, but they have a chemistry. Those two players live together.
Who, Sydney and Brittany?
Yes, Sydney and Brittany. They live with is Sydney, Brittany, and Marie Gulich.
I'm gonna keep it if Brittany Sykes starting the way she's playing, I don't think she would get a spot up.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't think
that's what I'm saying. That's why I wrote that article on Winsidr.com.
I don't think she's as defensively gifted as Tierra, but I think she's faster. I think she's quicker, and I think she's more of an offensive threat than what Tierra is. I think Tierra is technically a better defender, but I think that Brittany is a quicker defender. I think she's quicker, and
TRP is way more physical because the difference between TRP's body and Brittany Sykes' body is only a couple inches difference, but it's probably about 30 to 40 pounds difference in size and strength.
And I also think that Brittany is better in transition, which will help the Sparks play faster, especially when you're going defense to offense. I think that especially when having Candace, especially when Candace throw those long, she shouldn't do it sometimes, but it works other times.
Yes. But at least their passes was with two hands.
Yeah, but she throw those long passes. Brittany is good in, to me at least, she's good in transition, and she's really good finishing in transition as well.
Can I say this too? You just talked about Candice Parker throwing those long passes. Candice Parker did have a few turnovers in that game, and she probably had a few passes that she wishes, as if she was an analyst, she could take back, and that could have been her triple-double there too.
It was
so don't blame everything on what, because she got some passes that were like that worked, but some that didn't. So they equaled out, but I mean, just one could have turned the tide, and it could have been.
There were a lot of things that they did in the Minnesota game that I wasn't exactly impressed by. For one, if Minnesota could shoot, they would have won the game. They was literally the left. No,
they wouldn't have won the game. They wouldn't have won the game because the Sparks shot 66% as a team.
Yeah, but even still, they
made 2 out of 3 every shot.
Yeah, but listen, they were shooting 6. Yeah, but they were shooting 66% in the first half and was up 10 at the end of the half. And I think the Lynx was shooting I don't know what it was from 3, but it wasn't good. Literally, there was a spot on the court. There was a spot on the court.
But you heard what you just said, right? They were shooting 66% and they were up by 10. They continued to shoot that, and they basically won the game by 20. They just did the same thing they did in the first half.
Yes. But what I'm saying is, even when you saw when Minnesota started hitting shots, the lead evaporated very quickly. And also the Sparks were turning the ball over. So that's the thing that was negating the fact that they were shooting so well, the fact that they were turning the ball over. Now, I didn't, just like Fix said, I didn't have too much issue with the turnovers because I thought a lot of turnovers, like he said, came from them trying to share the ball. And I'd rather you turn the ball over trying to share the ball than you turn the ball over trying to go on solo missions. And that's how you turn the ball over. If you do it because you're trying to share the ball, it's like, okay, I can see y'all playing as a team. Just reel it back in a little bit. We can build off that. If y'all just out there looking like y'all not connected and turn the ball over, that's something else. But I still think quicker guards give them huge issues. Like they to me have an issue with guard penetration. And I think that they have moments. Now, granted, this could be because they don't have too much practice time. So it's hard. Really, the only time you get to practice is honestly on the court. Honestly, at this point, because you can't do too much in practice. But I feel like defensively, they can be arguably the best or one of the best defensive teams in the league. But they don't play. They play it in spots. We haven't yet seen, at least I don't think so, these too many times, a full 40 minutes of incredible defense.
Never going to see a full 40 minutes of defense from them. We're never going to see that. That's just something that you don't see from professional basketball players. This is not like Nolan Richardson at the University of Arkansas when he had Corliss Williamson and Scotty Thurman, the 40 minutes of hell. They're not full court pressing. They're not going to do that.
I don't.
What I think you can see is that if you start Brittany Sykes, because this is the thing, teams are trying in the lineup right now, in the starting lineup right now, they know they can't really challenge TRP. They can't really challenge NECA. They've been trying to challenge Candice Parker, and that's not working. Chelsea Gray is willing to take a charge. So going at her is not really going to do anything. So they've been trying to go at Sydney Weiss. That's what Jackie Young did, and that's how the Aces won that game. They've been trying to go at Sydney Weiss in the starting lineup. So if you start Brittany Sykes and Sydney Weiss, if for some reason teams are going at Sydney Weiss and they're successful, you have the quick opportunity to just take Sydney Weiss out, put Taya Cooper in, and squash that real quick. And then you get to see Taya Cooper playing with Gray because they want a secondary primary ball handler playing with Gray. Honestly, they want 3 because they have Candace Parker, but they want another guard. They want to play 2 point guards because the whole point of this season was that it was going to be Chelsea Gray and Christy Tolliver. And if they can recreate that, then that will lead to more success for the Spartans.
I feel you.
No team in the WNBA should not have 2 point guards on the court at the same time.
I feel you, but I do still think they need to pay a little bit more attention to detail. Like I think the defense that they played when they got down.
Oh, they definitely do. They need more practice time.
Exactly.
But they don't have time to practice.
That's the thing.
In walkthroughs, maybe it just needs to be all about defense.
That's the thing. Like it's just if they could. When I say play full, I don't mean like press for 4 minutes. I just mean like be locked in. I think that they have points where they have lapses and they have lapses for 4 or 5 minutes. And then they're like, okay, well, we got to defend now. And then they turn it on and like turn it off. But I like to see them turn it on.
That means if I'm the coach, I'm telling my bench players that when I put y'all in, I want you to change the game defensively. So if somebody is not doing it in the beginning of the game, you have other options. People still don't need to be playing more than 30 minutes a game. So there's going to be limited minutes. You're not going to max more than 28. If you're anybody but Chelsea Gray, nobody needs to be playing more than 30 minutes. And honestly, at this point, with having all of the guards they have, she doesn't even need to play 30 minutes.
Fair.
So you have opportunities where if somebody is not doing what you want them to do right then defensively, and you see those lapses for a minute or two, call a timeout. Don't let them just play through it for 4 or 5 minutes because at 4 or 5 minutes, the quarter is half over, and then they might as well stay in.
I mean, it's the
pull them out a little quicker. That's okay.
It's the Phil Jackson school. You know, like Phil would, you know, if you fell down 10, he'd just sit down and be like, all right, y'all got it, figure it out. And then, you know, it just let the players work through it and things.
But because you have people on the bench who are going to try their hardest to play defense. There will be no lapse in effort on defense from Brittany Sykes if you have to put Brittany Sykes in the game for Sydney Weiss or for TRP or for anybody else. There will be no lapse in trying on defense. She might not be in the right spot every time, but there will be no lapse in effort on defense from Taya Cooper. She doesn't know any better other than to go out there and try and play hard. So put them in because this is not an indictment on a starter. This is just to say, like, that wasn't the energy we want. Look at this person. And honestly, you're better than this person because I have you starting. So when you go back in, do what they were doing and you be even better at it. Does that make sense?
That makes sense. I feel you.
So that's how I would be looking at it. And again, like, you gotta play these players. Even still, he had 12 players for the first time, and he still basically only played 10, and Anigwe got in at the end. Gray still didn't play.
I mean,
you have options for energy. And that's what I'm saying. You can turn the tide in like 2 minutes. You can turn the tide really quick. Look what
I don't disagree.
Look what Brittany Sykes did when she blocked Griner. That game was done after that.
I don't disagree with you, but again, like I said, somehow as we get deeper into the season and into the playoffs, they're gonna have to pay more again. And granted, like you said, they don't get much practice time. It's not like, you know, last year when you could get, you know, 3-4 practices in a week. I don't know how many practices they might have in a week, and even if they do have those practices, it's not like how much are you really doing because you're playing so much. And how much are you really
honestly
doing?
From what I know, they're only really practicing when they play on like that Saturday or Sunday, and they don't. Well, if they play on the Sunday and they don't have to play again to that Wednesday, when they have that 2 game,
two game gap, actual practice in.
Then you can actually practice. Other than that,
you can't practice.
I mean, they meet and they may have walkthroughs and things like that.
Yeah,
but
that's a
you're
little
not
bit
out
different.
there.
Yeah,
You're not out there practicing.
getting
And
the
that's what they need. And honestly, you know what? This is why I think expanded rotations are great. Because if you can expand the rotation enough and get a win, and nobody played more than 25 minutes, then honestly, maybe you can sneak in a practice every once in a while, even when you only have a day off in between.
Yeah, but no.
Why not? Just that one day of practice could be the difference in winning the next 2 or 3 games.
Yeah, but no, because we have veterans on the team, so I would probably want to hold them out regardless. So, like, yeah, you could, but like, no.
They can watch. They're not the ones that really, really, really need the practice.
Yeah, but watching ain't the same as like, yes, but then that's still a thing of team defense. Like, you need to go out there and do it as a team and like defense. Like, yeah, you could do that and they could just sit there and watch, but it's like you really like you have so many older players and recovery is a thing. Like, you are going out there playing a full game. I don't want to stick you out there and like, all right, we're gonna go at it and we're gonna practice hard 16 hours later. Like, nah.
No, that's a good point. Can I get into this? I want to share
real quick though. Wait. Real quick though.
Okay.
Guys, if you are in here, make sure you subscribe, make sure you like, make sure you drop some in the comment box. Let us know your thoughts. Anything WNBA. I mean, this is the Spark Report, but we do talk anything WNBA. So if you got any questions, concerns, things that you want to know, things you want to talk about, put it in the comment box and make sure you drop a like on this video. And we'll continue.
Yeah, so shout out to my new friend Nikki in the comment section. But I want to share the AP Power Rankings with you. So right now, AP Power Rankings, number 1, Seattle 6-1, Chicago number 2 at 5-2, Las Vegas number 3 at 5-2, Minnesota number 4 at 5-2, Los Angeles number 5 at 4-3, Phoenix 6 4-3, Washington 7 3-4, lost 4 straight, Indiana 3-4 at 8, Dallas 9 3-4, Atlanta 10th at 2-5, Connecticut 11 at 1-6, and New York 12 at 1-6. What are your feelings on that? I personally think that's pretty spot on. That's pretty accurate what we've seen in the first 2 weeks.
I don't really have an issue with it. I don't really have no complaints with it. I think that
the only thing I could see is if Sylvia Fowles played for Minnesota, and even if they were 5-2 and the Sparks got them in that game, I would put the Sparks forward.
I agree.
4-3.
I agree.
But if they didn't beat Minnesota at full strength, you can't say they're a better team.
I agree. That's the only thing that I would
Yeah. You can't say they're a better team yet. That's the problem.
Maybe you could put Minnesota over Vegas because they did win one without Sylvia.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe you could do that. But
I would personally. Okay, that's a good point. Let me pull it back up so I make sure I have it. Yeah, I would put Minnesota over Vegas.
Maybe.
I like Minnesota's defense more than I like Vegas.
I'm just saying because
I like the fact that Minnesota actually has people who will shoot 3-pointers.
I'm just saying, yeah.
But
I'm just saying that
the duo of Asia Wilson and Angel McCoughtry, has there been a better duo this season?
I mean, probably.
Think hard. Think hard. If you name one, you have to think hard. You can't just name one off the top of your head.
I mean, I could say Breonna Stewart and pick somebody, but
that's not a duo.
Yeah, that's
Breonna and everybody else.
Yeah.
But
so
those
now
who have been carrying the team. So yeah, I can see that. I guess the other thing about it is, the Sparks, if you look at this upcoming schedule, first of all, no offense to the New York Liberty, but if the Sparks lose to the Liberty,
WNBA.
If the Sparks lose to the Liberty, they need to go home.
WNBA, please.
If the Sparks lose to the Liberty, I will see y'all on Thursday in downtown LA. We can hang out.
WNBA, please flex all the Liberty games.
Y'all can come to the beach with me on Friday.
WNBA, please flex all the Liberty games off for television. I'm sorry, but flex them Liberty games.
If the Sparks lose to the Liberty, I expect to see them in person at my birthday party.
Nah, if the Sparks lose to the Liberty, then that's one of the situations when
They
we was
did,
talking about.
but they did flex all the games. Obviously, the Liberty. That's how the Sparks got moved up on the last game because they had to flex the Liberty out. So yes, that is exactly why ESPN knew what they were doing. They knew that if something happened, God forbid, with Sabrina, which it did, they had to take the Liberty out because there are more competitive games that people would rather see that would be a better representation of the WNBA. Although the last two games, the Liberty have had a chance to win them. They won one, they lost one
Yeah, they
by
have,
just a
but it looks
little
like
bit,
Sabrina not
and
there.
they've been playing hard.
Yeah, they
But
have, but it's like Sabrina not there.
People want to watch Liberty to see Sabrina,
like literally, like I was watching every single Liberty game. I promise you, I see Liberty. I'm like, well, I'm not watching this game. Dad, I'm sorry, but like when like Sabrina was there, I'm watching everything. She was just exciting. She would do things that was exciting, and she also had like a story behind her. So it's like I want to see.
Even if they play 500 basketball for the rest of the year, they still won't have a winning record.
Yes, yeah.
And they still won't make the playoffs.
They're not going to play 500 basketball for the rest of the year. But
I mean, they played 500 basketball the last two games.
They're not. No.
I understand. I know. I'm just being silly. But I think it's important for the Sparks to get off this win-loss kind of thing. This will be the Sparks' first opportunity to start a winning streak. You have to win 2 in a row for it to be a winning streak.
And I think that's
what better team to play against than the Liberty.
And I think that starts with defense. But again, the one thing about the Sparks for 2 years is they give up a lot of threes. They give up a lot of threes. The reason why it happens is because for whatever reason, I don't know why, but they cannot stop guard penetration. Literally, somebody gets in the paint on them, and it's like, well, they're going to collapse one pass, this person wide open every game. So
the Sparks are a finesse team. And you know who just finessed 6 out of 9 threes in the last game?
Yes.
Your girl.
Oh, and they are terrible at defending the pick and pop. They are terrible. They are terrible at defending the pick and pop. Like, yeah, Jackie Young was doing what she did to Sydney Wee, sure, which Fish was heated about that. But same time, Asia was working their bigs out too. So it wasn't all just her. That pick and pop, Asia was working their bigs clean out.
Asia was going to work.
Asia was working their bigs clean out. That pick and pop all year. Really, the past 2 years, I don't know why, but they do not stop the pick and pop. But then that's communication. Like I'll see 2 people go with somebody, like one person, please stay with her. Like what?
It's practice.
But again, practice. They have to somehow. And like I said, it kind of is what it is. But the fact that you're in this season and you don't really get to hone in on things like that, and honestly, you getting practice reps in the game, so it is what it is.
Can I throw this conversation out to you? And I think we can end
Go ahead.
on this. And then, so I'll say this, and then let's do our predictions on these next 3 games. But do you think since the playoffs, so in the WNBA, you have conferences. You have a Western Conference and you have an Eastern Conference. But the seeding in the playoffs is all 12 teams, best records 1 through 8. Do you think this would have been the perfect week to just pick the top 2 players, and then you could have had A'ja Wilson win and Candace Parker win instead of having to pick somebody from the Eastern Conference when the Eastern Conference literally only has like 1 playoff team right now?
Nah, I mean, if you're going to have conferences, then they have to mean something. I mean,
they don't mean anything in the playoffs.
Yeah, but then you may as well just get rid of conferences completely.
They might as well. That's what I'm saying. This would have been the perfect week to say that the top 2 players in the league were A'ja Wilson and Candace Parker. I mean, Candace Parker deserved some sort of award this week.
I mean, again, I feel you, but if you're gonna have the conferences, and I think at some point you have to abide by them in some way, shape, or fashion. If you're not, then you literally may as well get rid of conferences, which is 12 teams. You do just want to get rid. It's 12 teams. It's not like it's like 20 teams. I don't even know why.
12 teams is 1 conference.
Yeah, it's 1 conference. I don't know why.
You can have divisions, but it's
you can have but that's 1 conference. I don't know why they have conferences anyway. But like, if you're gonna have them, then I think you need to abide by them a little bit. But
I think it's important for them to. I think it's important for them to keep them because the goal would be to expand the league.
And
to have more teams eventually.
You know what? Where would you like to see a W? If you had to add 2 teams, where would you put them at?
I would put 1 in Houston because back in Houston because I think the Houston Comets, they won the first however many championships.
4, I think, wasn't it?
I think so. And so they deserve a team. And I also think, like, as much as I like Shanae Agumike and Nneka Agumike as Sparks, you give Houston a team, tell me they not going home.
Nah, I don't think Shanae's going home. I think she's gonna stay right in LA and stay next to all her business opportunities. I think Nneka's gonna stay right there with her.
5 years from now, when they actually had one, tell me they're not going home.
Nah, I think they staying right there in LA next to all their business opportunities. So Houston and where else would you like to see one at?
I want my Shock back. I want my Detroit Shock back.
Being a homer. Pick somewhere else besides Detroit. Don't be a homer.
I want them to take those championships back from the Dallas Wings. The Dallas Wings are claiming my Shock championships.
Okay,
I'm going to talk about this every show until they give them up.
I respect it.
They need to give them up. Just because you move from Tulsa and then you move to Dallas and you change your name, but you're still the same franchise, don't mean you get to claim those championships. Those need to vamoosh in the thin air like the Houston Comets. Houston Comets championship just gone.
I think the Bay Area.
Yeah,
I think the Bay Area could get a team. If I had so maybe the Bay, and I don't mind the idea of bringing the Houston Comets back. I think that would be dope for the league. Like the league kind of started with the Houston Comets. Like that's what it was. Like Cheryl Swoops. Like it started with the Comets. Like that's one of the first teams I knew about was the Houston Comets. So if I had
I got a real one other than the Shock. How about Philadelphia?
It's
a huge city. I mean, it's what, top 5 in the nation? And that's why I say Houston too. It's one of the top 5 cities.
Yeah, Houston is top
population.
I think Houston is top 4. Phoenix is actually 5th. So I think Philly is like 6th or 7th. I think.
Philly might be 3.
Nah, Philly ain't 3. Chicago is 3.
Chicago's 3.
Yeah,
okay, well, wherever Philly is,
Chicago. I think it's New York, LA, Chicago, Houston, Phoenix, San Diego, and then I think it's like Philly or something like that. Okay. San Diego would also be a good place too. I think. Well,
San Diego.
Yeah, they don't have a team.
They don't, because think about how many teams San Diego has had, and then they left. They had the Clippers.
They had the Clippers. They had the
Chargers, and they left.
Yeah, fair.
Teams just leave there. I think they should be able to support teams, but teams just leave there. But no, I like the Bay Area, and I like Houston, and I like Philly. So that's what I would say. And then you also have synergy in those markets with an NBA team. Because I think it's important as the league expands to have synergy in markets with NBA teams. Because you're looking at the commitment that, you got these NBA players saying they're wearing their orange hoodies and they're saying they want to stand up and they want to, back their sisters. So put the teams in those markets. So let's end on this. I like the way we ended last show. So we got 3 games. Tuesday, August 11th, New York Liberty, LA Sparks. I'm calling that a win. What you think?
Call it a win.
Okay. Have to win that game. You lose that one, then I'll see y'all in Hermosa Beach on Friday. Next game, Thursday, August 13th, LA Sparks, Washington Mystics. I'll let you go first on this
one. The Mystics are winning.
Yeah.
They don't go to the 3-point line.
Yeah. But if they beat the Mystics, then they're turning a table.
If they beat the Mystics, yes, they'll turn the table. But they don't go to the 3-point line. I think I know what's going to happen. They're going to make one pass, open shooter. One pass. Well, open shooter. But if they beat them, you're right. That would be when I was like, oh, they're turning a corner. And they actually look like a championship team. So
you know what? I agree with everything you're saying. But just for the sake of argument, I'm going to say they beat the Mystics. I don't know exactly how, but I'm going to say they beat the Mystics. And I'm going to say they beat the Fever as well. I'm going to call their first 3-0 week, 4-game winning streak for the Sparks. Why not? If not now, when?
I'm going to go 2-1. 2-1. Like I said, I think they'll beat the Fever and the Liberty. Should beat hope they beat the Liberty. Better beat the Liberty. Fever and the Liberty. And then I think that they'll fall to the Mystics because I don't trust their ability to guard the 3-point line.
I agree with you. If you look at their record, the way they've gone, if you just looked at the rhythm of it, the win-loss, they just won the last game. So everything up until now would tell you that they would lose the next game, other than the fact that they're playing the Liberty. So again, if you can't beat the Liberty, I will see y'all on Friday, August 14th on Hermosa Beach, LA Sparks. We're going to have a beach party because y'all left the Wubble and y'all just can forfeit all the rest of y'all games. I mean, am I wrong?
Yeah, that would be a bad loss. Like, come on, relax. Can't be losing. You can't be
a bad loss. Bro, Candace Parker could not play, and you're still supposed to beat the Liberty. NECA could straight up not play, and you could still beat the Liberty.
You should beat the Liberty. You could rest NECA and Candace, and I would still.
You can start Rashonda Gray against a team that waived her, and you still should beat the Liberty. You literally, all you have to do is play defense and guard them. They will miss shots if you do that.
I mean, hey, sure to get on that pick and pop. I mean, you saw what she did last year. Remember, she put up 30. Didn't she put up 30 and a half?
Something like that. She made 6 threes. I think she had 37. That's why I said this last game. She just had 6 and 9. Like Zowie B has decided that all I'm gonna do is shoot threes now. So
she's good at it.
Yeah, if they don't want to guard her and she goes out there and makes all them threes and scores the points and blah blah blah, they could lose. But if they do lose, they need to leave the Wubble.
It'll be a close game though. I don't think that they'll blow them out. I think that they'll probably end up winning. I think they'll probably end up winning by like maybe 13, but it'll be a closer game than what it looks like though.
That's fair. All right, so I'm saying 3-0, could be 2-1. You're saying 2-1. I appreciate that. So if you want to follow me, you can check me out on Winsidr.com. That's where you can see my LA Sparks articles. You can also follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at John W. Davis. Where can we follow you, Pat?
You can follow me at Pavy World, Pavy World, all one word. And you should check out my project. I Just Felt Like Rapping 2 will be out tonight. So if you're watching this and you want to check that out, please check that out.
All right. For Pavy, I'm John W. Davis. Peace.